How's it going, everyone? I'm Venomystera, back with an exciting StarCraft 2 game between our friend BeastyQT, friend and fellow YouTuber BeastyQT. He is going to make a supply depot at the top of his ramp, a timeless Terran classic. He's facing off against a very good Korean player, True, who is on Team Storm and has made some deep runs in the GSL. Quite frankly, True is one of these guys who really pioneered these mass Ling, mass Queen styles versus Terran, because he's always been one of these people who's not afraid to delay his gases for a long period of time. Of course, that style really became in vogue for Zerg to use for a long time, where essentially they delay their gas for an extraordinarily long amount of time, and they usually get like 1 or 2 evos with lots of Lings and Queens, and then that's how they hold the Terran pressure, whether it be the Hellions or the double medevac stem drop. But we don't really see the quick tech into like fast muta like we did back in the day, because oftentimes if Zerg just tries to tech into quick muta, they can just die to a lot of the in vogue pressure builds that Terran do. So a lot of Zergs that we see are really going for mass Ling styles. Sometimes we see Roach Ravager stuff. The Roaches are very hardy in the mid-game, and sometimes we see people who go Roach Ravager like the transition into Ultra, because you go Roach Ravager and then you tech into Infestor as you're getting Hive, and that's very strong because the Infestors, of course, combo very well with the Ravager, because Corrosive Bile, very strong if you can get it to land, but your opponent has the ability to move away from it, but not if they're fungled. And Ultras, of course, are very good, but the main flaw of the Ultralisk is the ability for it to be kited around by Terran Bio. So again, the Infestor works very well with that unit. 6 Lings on the way for True, as the Reaper is going to find the correct base first because of where the Overlord was. So what do we see so far? Ling speed on the way, nothing significant. And this is the thing about a Reaper, is you're not really going to see a whole lot in terms of tech a lot of the time, but that's really what you want. The Reaper is honestly just to make sure nothing fishy is going on, and the drone might die there. As Beastie tries to run away, throws a grenade, he might lose the Reaper, but he won't. He jumps off the cliff. He was fine. True does have a Queen out now, and Beastie is going for a very standard build. This is the kind of build that you want to do if you want to play macro TVZ and just get better at the game. Fast 3cc Hellion. We see that Beastie, of course, made a Reaper, and then he made this Marine to deny scouting, and now he is able to pump out 2 Hellions at a time. This will allow him to gain map control, as you see him running around with this Reaper. Reaper still has no kills. The Zerg was forced to make a Spore though, and another drone being run away as Beastie might get cornered here as Zergling speed's about to finish. And as it stands, Beastie won't get anything but some scouting info. True is going to walk down to take a third, and because Beastie is opening Hellion and getting Stim, this will mean that he's going to see what True is doing as far as aggressive units, because really the most effective part of the Hellion is seeing how many attacking units Zerg is making and limiting their creep spread. Very often Zerg will make multiple forward queens and try to get their creep spread established, but the forward queens are also a product of years and years of the Terran player opening Hellion, because if you don't make extra queens and the Terran makes 6 to 8 Hellions, really you can just be in for a world of trouble and lose a bunch of drones. Now, it has been several years since Zerg players really just lost games outright to Hellion openers. Back in 2010, when the maps were smaller and more wide open, sure, but now Zergs know what up. They know the importance of getting early queens. As you see some drones running down here, a little prematurely for True. He really wants to get this saturated as quickly as possible. 3 Dropper Lords are on the way for True, so this is a very interesting deviation. So what does he have? He has an Evo Chamber, he has Queens, and he has Lings. With 3, count them, 3 of these Dropper Lords, this is almost certainly going to be some sort of weird, bizarre move as he loads 4 queens, count them, 4 queens into the queen taxi, where the queens, they're all in the Overlord. So this is going to be very interesting to see BeastyQT with his Sweet Tooth Hellions running around, trying to see what he can find. Now this is the benefit of Hellions, is Beasty's not like pinned back in his base. He's going to figure this out sooner rather than later. But because he's not ranging out with these super aggressively, he's going to figure out right now. So the Marines get one of the drop rulers really weak, but it makes it away with 7 HP. And now the Lings are going to run in the front door. Beasty needs to be very careful. He's at the top of his ramp. He's mass repairing. Here come the queens from the queen taxi. Lots of Lings dropping, but there's no Banes, guys. Those were 4 queens, not 4 Banes. And as it stands, the Hellions are going to deal lots of splash before they go down, and Marines sitting on top of the ramp are very strong when they have something to tank. And between the bunker and the repair and the Sim City, Beasty holds easily, and that was incredible. The Terran player is up in supply. Let's look at workers killed. Only 4. That's very, very low for the amount of investment that True put into that. If we go to units, the Terran player is ahead. The Terran player is even in bases, which the old cliche is that Zerg always wants to be a base ahead. Of course, this is largely due to the fact that they produce all of their units from the hatchery. So if you're even with Terran and TVZ, a lot of the time that means that you're not really going to be able to keep up as Zerg, because Terran with mules and with units like the Widow Mine and the Medevac, as we see a full Dropper Lord might go down, and Beasty targets it down brilliantly and then kills the Link. So everything's going right here for Beasty, as he's going to drop some more mules. Beasty, of course, he's getting 1-1 and combat shields. This will really be his power spike. As what did the Zerg invest? Because that Dropper Lord attack was very scary. He delayed his Banling Nest, he delayed his second Evo Chamber, he delayed his creep spread, and he delayed his injects. True is a very counter-attacky player, and he's setting one up here, and Beasty's actually going for a big crushing attack out here. If True doesn't counter, this is going to be almost game-ending, because there's really nothing out here in the base for True. And we can see True will be aggressive here. He's going to run into the third base. Now, there's no mines out here, so Beasty's going to have to evacuate his workers and stem his army back. And this is a great move by True. The last thing that you want to do as Zerg is give the Terran the opportunity to push you. Here come the Bands, as Beasty's going to get his Marines splitting out, and up the ramp come the Bands, and slow Banlings up a ramp off a creep are not great. And Beasty's macro was solid there, and he mows the Banes down. However, the Zerg did kill 14 workers, so he evened up the supply and got himself back in the game. Although I would still say the Terran is ahead, because if we go to upgrade, sure, the Terran's about to have a slight advantage, but structures, most importantly, that is just massive. As we see 1-1 finish for the Terran has medevac tech. He has a factory on the board. You know, he's getting 2-2. The Zerg player really just has a lair. He doesn't have a spire or an infestation pit. Marines screaming forward as you see another attack in the third base. Widow Mine will go out, and Beasty does have Marines here, and he's going to run into the main, still slaughtering Lings, and if he holds his third, he will be in good shape as, ooh, a big filthy mine hit. And Beasty does the old trick where he drops a single Marine onto a Bane and kills it. He might get the spawning pool. This will be game ending, I venture to say, because if we go to structures, what the hell is he going to make? True, the Zerg player, in the 60s in supply, which is absolutely brutal. Now, he has done some damage over here at the third. Great move there. But Beasty is firing upon the Banes as he missed micros a little bit there. Doesn't quite focus fire the Banes and takes a significant hit. But that is okay. There was a lot going on at the map, at the time, and Beasty is almost double the supply of True. So the crux of the issue here, I know I keep talking about it, but it really is the most important thing in the game, is the tech. If we go to the larva, what the hell can the Zerg make? Nothing. He can make no attacking units. What did he just make? 11 drones. He's like, okay, I'll populate my 4th with drones while I'm being attacked, I guess. His spawning pool did just finish, though, and Beasty is starting to harass him in multiple locations. Now, why is it so important that he doesn't have Spire or Infestation Pit or any other tech? Because Terran, as they tech up, really have these brutal harassment options that you can't deal with if you don't have the appropriate tech as Zerg. And the game-winning push is coming out here for Beasty. It's 124 supply to about 80 for True. He's making 20 lings, but let's go to upgrades. It's going to be rough because it's pure ling ban, and Beasty can press forward here, clear out creep, and put in a big minefield. Look at the units as the spawning pool just finished recently for True, and he's not even going to be able to engage the Marines as the Serbian will push forward here and finish the game. So a very interesting defense here, as we see the last game that I casted was Demaga versus Beasty. Beasty defended a Nidus play very well. This one, interestingly enough, was a 3 Dropper Lord push that I've never seen before. No banelings. It was just kind of like a I'm gonna get over your wall and bring some queens type thing. And it didn't really work. Even though a fast third CC was a part of Beasty's build, the Hellions really helped him out, and the safe macro Terran did come out with the victory there. So make sure you subscribe and check the description of this video for Beasty's channel too, because he makes a lot of good content.